Lesson 60, Movable New. Well, Catherine, in this lesson, we have a new concept to share with them. Catherine, have you ever noticed that before some words we say a, and before other words we say an?
Yes, and that ties into the fact that there are certain sounds that the mouth does not like to say right next to each other, and there are certain sounds that are a lot easier for us to say right next to each other. So, a apple is very difficult to say right next to each other because you have to make a stop between two vowel sounds in order to distinguish them. But an apple makes total sense and is a lot easier to say because you have that consonant, that N, in between the two A's.
It seems like the human mouth wants naturally to alternate between consonants and vowels.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said a moment ago, if we say two vowels in a row, as seen here in the example that I put here, acorn, it's tough to do for several reasons. First of all, it's hard to say clearly.
Mm-hmm.
If I really want to say that clearly, I'd have to leave a space between. I'd have to say acorn. So it takes longer, it takes more effort, and I have to really slow down my speech to do it. But if I say an acorn, I can really spit that out really fast, and it's clear, it's easy to understand. So it just seems like the human mouth naturally wants to have this alternation between consonants and vowels. It allows things to just sort of roll off the tongue quickly.
Yes.
So what we're saying here is that the word a and the word an, really, they're just two variations of the same word. It's really the same word, but just with two different spellings.
Mm-hmm.
And so the basic idea here is that if the next word starts with a vowel sound, we put an in front of it. And if the next word starts with a consonant, we put a in front of it. And so that maintains the alternation of vowels and consonants. So it makes a nice smooth patter, sort of a smooth pronunciation.
Mm-hmm. And we almost could consider that N in an a movable N, because it could be removed from the word or be in the word, depending on what is following it.
Excellent segue.
Thank you.
So again, we want this vowel, consonant, vowel pattern. And so why are we telling you this? We're telling you this because we're going to see that same thing in Greek. At the end of some words in ancient Greek, there will be an optional nu, the letter nu, that can either be there at the end of the word or it can not be there, depending on the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said before, this is a new concept for you to learn. I never get tired of that joke. And just like with a and an in English, it has to do with the next word, what the next word starts with. In the next lesson, we're going to learn a new verb, and that verb means he is, she is, or it is, and it can be spelled two ways. It can have a nu at the end, or it can not have a nu at the end. It can be spelled estin or esti.
Right, and just like an in English, esti, estin depends on what the next word is and what that next word begins with. So if the next word after esti or estin begins with a consonant, then you will have esti, no nu. But if the next word begins with a vowel, then you'll see estin with a nu.
And again, this whole thing is to maintain smooth pronunciation. You have this alternation between consonant sounds and vowel sounds. And so that's what's happening here with the letter nu.
Mm-hmm.
It gets added in to maintain that alternation between consonants and vowels, and it smooths out the pronunciation. It makes it easier to say. It makes it more understandable, and probably makes it easier to speak clearly if you're talking fast.
Yes. One other thing to note is that we will see estin with a nu if it's the final word in a sentence, which makes sense because esti, it feels like there's something that needs to be added in order for the sentence to end nicely with closure. But if it's estin, then we have a closure just sound-wise.
Or, well, literally, that's called a closed syllable. So that
Right.
gives you the closure you're looking for.
Exactly.
And so one final note, if you see the word SD listed in a dictionary or some other similar thing, you'll see it with the nu in parentheses.
Mm-hmm.
So epsilon, sigma, tau, iota, and then the nu in parentheses. And we show you that here at the end of the lesson.